On the latest episode of Club Random, Bill Maher's podcast, Don Lemon and Bill Maher debate how MAGA feels about black people. Quote, a huge faction is really effing racist. Well, I'd like to just pause and say, honestly, I think a lot of people are racist. I think Democrats are extremely racist. I think Don Lemon's very racist. Bill Maher's probably a lot less racist than a lot of them. And I mean that sincerely. But come on, you're going to play this game? It's 2025. It has been 10 years of Democrats screaming racism. It ain't going to fly. But this is the debate they get into. Bill Maher opens up by talking about this SNL sketch where Tom Hanks is like, I ain't shaking my hands with that guy, And here we go. What we end up with is a viral clip of Don Lemon saying, you can't be a black Republican. And Bill Maher says, I think that many people would find that insulting. And Don Lemon doubles down and says, so what? Democrats can't learn. And this is why their approval ratings in the gutter. It's why people don't like the party anymore. Now, I'm not so naive to think the Democrat approval rating down to 29% is simply because every single person who's a Democrat is like, I don't like these people. It's because the party represents no one. Everybody wants something different. I was a passive Democrat, I'd say, for a while. I didn't like the Republican Party. It was not a part of whatever that was, not an overtly religious individual. But I can't say that Tulsi Gabbard, RFK Jr., Elon Musk, Donald Trump were oh so different from me. But here we are now in that camp. You got an eclectic bunch. You got Donald Trump increasing his voter share among Hispanics, Asians, black voters, and they keep calling him racist. Because it's nonsense. Let's read the story, my friends, but smash that like button. Don Lemon and Bill Maher debate how MAGA feels about black people. Really? I got the clip, but let's read. Bill Maher and Don Lemon argued over the character of the MAGA movement on the latest episode of the former's Club Random podcast, during which the latter insisted that a huge faction of President Donald Trump's fans are really effing racist. The conversation began with Lemon recalling being hit on by various men during a visit to the Trump Hotel in D.C. on the night of Trump's first inauguration back in 2017, which caused Maher to muse. The idea that they would be hostile. I mean, I know a lot of MAGA people. One person was hostile, interrupted Lemon. I'm going to tell you, I fully expect that if Don Lemon goes to any kind of Trump event, people will be hostile to him. I'm not saying they're going to attack him or yell at him. They're going to go up to him and they're going to be like, hey, X, Y, and Z, you did this, you did that, you said this. It's because there's real reasons to be critical of this guy. They got the clip. We do have the transcription here, and I do have some clips. Let's play this first and see where they're at.
Yeah, you watch CNN, right? Do you know Bakari Sellers?
Sure.
So Bakari Sellers is a friend. And on Inauguration Night 2017, Bakari says, let's go to the Trump Hotel. And I said, are you kidding me? No way I'm not going there. And he said, why? They're not going to, I'll protect you. I'm like, no, not against, I'm not afraid of anyone beating me up because I'll kick their ass. There's so much rage inside of this body, I'll kick their ass. And he said, why don't you want to go? I said, because I am seeing someone, number one, and I don't want to be hit on so much by it. And he goes, you gay guys, you want every straight guy to be gay. I'm like, no. And he said, come with me. I was like, okay. So I go, everyone's buying me drinks. Don Lemon is here, blah, blah, blah. And then all of these guys are over talking to me and sort of rubbing up against me and whatever. And Bakari's like, oh my God, you're right. I have no idea. He had no idea. And I don't think they're doing it to just normal heterosexual men. I think they're doing it to gay men who they know because they know that they're gay, and so they're shooting their shot. Yeah. I hate to say that, but it's the truth.
Now, let's just pause real quick and entertain the differences between the left and the right. Don Lemon said he went to the Trump inauguration party at the Trump Hotel, and people were trying to engage in adult relations with him. That is the literal opposite of what leftists do to people on the right. Hey, Don, let me tell you about my experience when I was not going to a leftist event, when I was going to the Deplorable in D.C. at the National Press Club, very professional. Yeah, none of the guys were hitting on me. They were throwing bricks at my head. As I was entering the building at the press club during Trump's first inauguration, far leftists across the street were lobbing projectiles, cans, bottles, bricks, rocks, garbage, whatever, over the police line at us, and we had to run in covering our necks. That's what we saw. You go to the Trump Hotel Club on inauguration night, and the worst that happened to you is that guys were trying to mack it to you. This is the difference between the left and the right. Now, I'm not going to sit here and just claim literally every single person on the right is gay and trying to hook up with guys that show up. My point is no hostility. For Don, quite the opposite.
No, that really doesn't surprise me. But I do think that the idea that you would go over there, even if this was a Trump...
It was Trump Hotel on
Trump
inauguration
crowd.
night.
Yep.
Yeah, it was a Trump crowd.
Okay.
So let's talk about where he calls everybody racist. Thanks for clearing things up, Don. Bill Maher says, let me ask you your opinion on this. Saturday Night Live, 50th anniversary show, they did one thing. They did a sketch where Tom Hanks puts on a MAGA hat. So he's a Trumper. And then Kenan Thompson comes over to shake his hand, and he won't shake his hand. And I said, this is on Fareed's show the other day. I found, that's so old, you know. I didn't vote for him. I get all the bad things about that administration. But if you think they don't shake black people's hands, it's just, you're wrong. That's not who they are. Lemon says, some of them do. Bill Maher says, Matt Gaetz shakes black people's hands, you know. Kid Rock will shake your hand. It's just not helpful to think like that at half the country. Bro, Byron Donalds is the favorite for the governor of Florida. He's a black man. Thomas Sowell is one of the thought leaders in MAGA. And Clarence Thomas is like the number one biggest guy that everybody is cheering for on the right. It is insanity. These people live in a deluded, paranoid state made up by movies and Saturday Night Live. There is a meme that has gone around for years where they take Clarence Thomas's head. He's black, by the way. And they put it over every other justice's head. And they said, the Supreme Court we wish we had. What world do these people live in? And I'll tell you, it's because they don't virtue signal. It's because the right doesn't virtue signal. The right doesn't come out and say, I like black people, so Clarence Thomas. No, people on the right are just like, wow, that was really great, that thing that guy did. But if they came out and made sure to make everything about race, the left might be like, thank you, now you're making it about race. But the right doesn't do that. Sometimes you get people on the right, they try to virtue signal to the left. Lemon says, you're a comedian, you know, it's part of comedy. Maher says, I understand. Let's be honest. There's a huge faction of the MAGA movement that's really effing racist. Maher says, I wouldn't say huge. No, I'd say partly. Lemon says, I would say huge. Yeah, okay. Well, we have different perspectives. Lemon says, I would say huge. And even if they're not, you have to overlook a lot of that in order to support Donald Trump, which I think is maybe even more egregious than just saying I'm racist. Oh, okay. Take me home, Don Lemon.
It's the same thing that when I see not all black Republicans, but I see a black MAGA person who is carrying Donald Trump's water and they know that he's lying. It is the shortest line to the front. Because if you're black and you're whatever, you're just in line with a bunch of other Democrats that are doing the same thing that you're doing. But if you become a black MAGA person, it's like, whoa, let's book this person, let's put him on television.
So you don't think you can be a sincere black MAGA person?
No, I just said, I don't think that. I just said I think there can be sincere Republicans,
but you can't be a sincere black Republican.
I don't think that you can be a rational MAGA, be black and be a rational MAGA person. I think you can be black and be a Republican.
I think they would find that very insulting.
Well, I mean, the truth is often insulting.
Well, Don Lemon, the truth is that you're as dumb as a box of rocks. Byron Donalds, also a mega favorite in the MAGA movement, backed by Trump himself. Dude, Byron Donalds is epic. And you know what really bothers me? You know what really, really bothers me? I should not have to bring up the wonderful job that Byron Donalds does simply because he's a black man. That is insulting to me. I want to be able to say there are a handful of members of Congress that I like. Thomas Massie takes the number one spot. Matt Gaetz was there. Matt, you left. You left, Matt. And the reason I put Matt Gaetz at number one is because he was breaking the system. He was challenging the machine. He went after Kevin McCarthy, the IOU machine. I loved it. Single spending bills, big fan. Not a fan of continuing resolutions. Not a fan of Trump's. I understand it's a wartime presidency thing. I'm not going to defend Democrats and help them out. But I'd prefer single item spending bills. Thomas Massie right afterwards. Now, Rand Paul, he's in the upper chamber. So in the House, I say Thomas Massey, but Rand Paul's always been a big favorite. Then you got Marjorie Taylor Greene, you got Lauren Boebert, you got Jim Jordan, you got a handful that I really like. And you know what? Many of them are prominent. And Byron Donalds is up there along with all of them. Now, why do I have to do this, Don Lemon? Why do you make me do this? Why can't I just sit here and say, I love Thomas Massey? I disagree with him quite a bit. I disagree with him on the continuing resolution. Donald Trump is trying to get as much done as possible as quickly as he can. I don't like continuing resolutions. Yes, it's going to add to the deficit. Yes, it'll add to the debt. This is a wartime movement, administrative civil war, whatever you want to call it. And Donald Trump's got to get the job done in a year and a half. So I say, well, you can maintain your principles. You can make these moves. But it doesn't matter if I disagree with Thomas Massey. That's what makes America great. And the most important things that we agree are the values of this country and what we strive for. I just disagree largely on strategy with Thomas Massey, but I do respect him tremendously. Byron Donalds, I think, does a tremendous job. And because of racists like Don Lemon, he won't just let us be. He won't let us live. I just want to be like, there's a handful of congressmen that I like. I think most are bad. And then Don Lemon comes out and goes, and how many of them are black? I'm like, not that it matters, but I don't know, a couple of them, I guess. I don't really sit here and think about which is the black congressman that I like. I think about the Congress people that I like. And notice I said people, because some are women. That's right. Politically correct, too. But Don Lemon is the racist. He cannot exist in a world without race. He said it himself on his show. He wants to see people's race. He wants race to be on the forefront. I don't care. Do a good job, and you're good. Larry Elder running for governor of California. I don't care. I'm not going to come out here and be like, wow, do you believe there could be a black governor? That's what they said to me with Obama. I was hanging out with a buddy of mine. He's a young black kid. This is 2008. So, how old are we? 20? And he's a little younger than me. And I think it was like his grandma or something. She was like, are you going to vote for Barack Obama? And he's like, I don't know, maybe. And she's like, you have to vote for him. It could be our first black president. And he goes, does that mean he's going to be a good president? And I went, oh, amazing. I voted for him still, but I'm like, respect. Like, we're supposed to not be racist, right? I don't care if you're white, black, Latino, Asian, Jewish, whatever. Okay? Are you a good person with good ideas fighting for good causes? Stop making it about these characteristics that don't play a role. Thank you, Don Lemon, because we can't escape this reality because of people like you. I'll wrap it up there. Smash that like button. Share the show with everyone you know. Timcast IRL coming up tonight, and we will see you all then. 8 p.m.